Even though Cowboy fans know they haven't won anything in like 30 years, they are in denial when it comes to which franchise is better. The Eagles go all out and try to win. The Cowboys go all out and try not to pay. Dallas still stinks. You like the way it kicked Dingbat here. There's a reason why the Eagles have been the better franchise over the last 30 years. Because they're a team that actually wants to win and actually does what it takes. Now, maybe it doesn't work all the time, but at least you know the Eagles are going to try. While the Cowboys, they're going to do everything in their power, everything that they can do in order to not pay their players or wait until the last second. And this is why I am so thankful to be an Eagle fan and not a Dallas Cowboy fan. Now, before we get into it, I wanted to say, first off, I'm sorry I did not get this video out on Friday. It was a long day. I didn't get home till late and didn't even really get to start to edit until late. So, thank you for watching this now and being patient with me. We have the season finale of the Shakedown podcast tonight, so look for that. Should be fun. Did you guys see this thing with Howie Roseman during the draft, trying to trade up for Cooper DeJean? He's calling everybody. You know how he's picking up that phone, making calls left, making calls right. You know, he's doing what he can. And he must have been driving the Washington, they're not the Redskins anymore, the Commanders, their GM, crazy, okay, Adam Peters. So there's a clip, and you can see, I'll put a link in the description so you can go see this whole thing. But it was at the 144 mark where Howie Roseman is, he's calling, he's trying to make a deal, and Howie's definitely throwing out like these late trades, with draft picks like late. He's trying to get away with something. You definitely could tell Howie Roseman is working this guy, man. He is working circles around this guy. And the GM of the Washington Commanders, he just basically gets to the point where he's like, and I thought, that is so perfect. That is Howie Roseman. Have you guys ever heard the song by Dennis Leary, the comedian, I'm an Asshole? I'm an asshole. I don't know if you guys see it. I'll put the link to that in the description as well. That song, every time I hear that song, I think of Howie. And listen, that's a good thing. I say that as a bad thing. I don't say he's an asshole as a bad thing. It's a good thing. You want a guy like that fighting for you. So many times people are like, oh, this guy hurts my feelings, or this guy says this, or this guy comes off this way. Yeah, but you want him on your team. If he's fighting for you, if he's being an asshole for you, then you want him. And that's what Howie Roseman is to the Eagles. He does everything in his power to get the best deal. And he's taking this young little GM, rookie GM, and he's trying to work him because he's trying to see what he could get away with. See if he could, get the guy to forget what picks he said and agree to a late pick. I love it. You got to love it. But I thought that was absolutely 100% hilarious. Now, a few things we want to talk about in today's video. First and foremost, did you see this? I'm sure you all did. Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence, according to Adam Schefter, have reached an agreement on a 5-year, $275 million extension, including a $200 million guaranteed, $142 million at signing per source. Can you imagine? First of all, making that kind of money? It's absolutely insane. That's a ton of money. That's a lot of money. I wish I could have that much money. But if you're Jerry Jones, right, and you're now 10,500 years old, and did you know it's his birthday today? He's 10,501 years old. Happy birthday, Jerry Jones, on 10,502 years old. The oldest man in the world. He's known as Emperor Palpatine. He's so old that his eyebrows are growing bones out. His chin is expanding. See, they all think, oh, those are Neanderthals that they dug up. No. These are just people that lived a very, very long time. The guy's 10,505 years old. Happy birthday, Jerry Jones, on turning 10,506 years old. It's great to be 10,507 years old, I guess. But just think about it. Back when he was like, in his teenage years, he could buy like a cow or a goat for a couple beans. They farm up a couple beans, 3 beans is a goat. And he could do it. Now, he's got to pay his quarterback coming up, what, $300 million? He's going, it's crazy. I used to be able to buy things for 3-4 beans, and then he saw when it was, you could get a meal for a penny, and somebody tipped you like a nickel. It was like the greatest thing ever. But at 10,508 years old, you're going to see a lot of inflation. 10,509 years old, what are you going to do? He's going to have to pay Dak Prescott like $300 million. Okay? And they are the stupidest team in the world. This team is so stupid. And it's funny, even funnier listening to the fans go, yeah, Trevor Lawrence, he got paid. Now our boy Dak is going to make this much money. Yeah, we want Dak to get paid the most amount of money. Why? You're going to have no cap space. You're going to have no cap room. You can't even function off of his cap now. How are you going to handle it? How are you going to go out and pay all these players? It's absolutely hilarious listening to Cowboy fans try to understand this thing. They think that because they think Dak is the greatest quarterback in the world, that he should make the most money. It's a good thing. You don't understand. You are hurting your cap. Trevor Lawrence just got paid. All right? Jared Goff got paid. All these guys got paid. And every time they get paid and reset the market, it ups the price for Dak. Now, for Dak personally, on a personal level, great for him. Good for him. Go make your money. But on a team level, it becomes unaffordable. It becomes unaffordable, especially when you got to pay CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, and Dak Prescott. And they all haven't been paid. And meanwhile, receivers are getting contract extensions. Quarterbacks are getting contract extensions. Micah Parsons wants to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of football. Future Eagles Micah Parsons. So the Dallas Cowboys, in my opinion, are in a situation where clearly Jerry Jones, 10,510 years old, doesn't want to pay that. I mean, he used to pay like 3 beans to get horses and goats and all sorts of things back in the day. The first time when he invented the hammer, okay, he paid 2 beans for it. 2 beans from his family's farm. And now he's got to pay people hundreds of millions of dollars. He doesn't understand what's going on. So you look at Dak Prescott, and he is going to make a ton of money. You're talking, what, $60 million, somewhere like that? Dallas is not going to pay him. I don't believe that they're going to pay him. I don't think they have any intention of paying him. I think they're going to let him go. I think this is Dallas's last hurrah. I think they're going to get ready to blow it up, and the Dak Prescott era is about to end. And you know what? It is what it is. BR Gridiron wrote this. Dak Prescott will be a top target if he enters free agency. Teams that could make a run at Dak in free agency: Raiders, Giants, Steelers, Seattle, and Tennessee. They all probably could. And he'll probably be good for those teams, get them to the playoffs and choke. It'll probably be what happens. But the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles, they do things when it comes to the cap total opposite, all right? The Cowboys, they wait to pay players. They don't pay players. And then what happens? The price keeps going up, and then they get caught in situations where they got to pay these guys an enormous amount of money. The Eagles, they sign their guys. They sign their guys with years left on their contract. They give them extensions. They make those guys happy, one of the top players in markets. And then in 2-3 years, those guys become bargains because everybody else got contract extensions. The Eagles don't waste time. And this is why the Eagles, over the course of the last 30 years, have been so much better than the Dallas Cowboys. This is why. Because the Philadelphia Eagles actually go out and they actually try to win. And that's the difference between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Dallas Cowboys try to get out of paying players, while the Philadelphia Eagles try to get championships. They try to get Super Bowls. I'll lose my train of thought for a second. But the Cowboys try to get out of paying players. The Eagles try to win Super Bowls. And they try to win championships by playing their players. Totally two different mindsets. And until the Dallas Cowboys start doing a better job with their cap, they're going to have a problem. This team is at a crossroads for them. I think this is their last hurrah. And the funny thing is even when you're in your last hurrah, you still don't go out and get players. I think Dallas takes a step back this year. I think they finish in third place behind Washington. I think the Eagles win the division. But clearly, this is why the Eagles have had success over the last 30 years, way more than Dallas. And yeah, people say, well, they only won one Super Bowl. You've been to two, but you only won one. So what is all this winning you guys are doing and talking about? What do you mean? Listen, at least my team tries. At least my team goes out and tries to do the right thing. It tries to win. I can say 100% this all season, my Eagles team tried to do everything they could to win. They're trying to win. Cowboys, no. They're trying to save $1. All right? That's what happens when your owner's 10,511 years old. Happy birthday to him. He's used to paying, like I said, he's used to paying in beans. He's used to paying pennies. He's used to paying nickels. He's not used to paying millions of dollars. And because of it, the Dallas Cowboys are paying immensely. They're paying a big price. And the Eagles, we continue to flourish. And we'll get our championships. We're going to get our championships. We're going to win our rings. And we're going to catch up and surpass Dallas. I have no doubt about it. This is our decade. I truly believe it. Now, one other thing I want to talk about real quick in closing. One standout. Nobody has been talking about this summer, the OTAs, that really has been out there. And this has come from multiple people. But this player has looked really, really good. We've heard about Isaiah Rodgers. I think Isaiah Rodgers would probably be your number one standout during the summer, during OTAs. We've heard about Johnny Ringo. We've heard about him and how well he's looked. It is true. Those guys have looked good. But the guy nobody's talking about, the guy that everybody's forgetting all about and writing him off to even making this team, that is really turning heads, that nobody's talking about, Britton Covey. Covey, crash test Covey. He has been absolutely fantastic. Inside the Birds wrote this, right? There's been considerable discourse this offseason pertaining to Covey's perceived tentative foothold on a roster spot due to his punt return acumen. But Covey this spring showcased explosiveness, short area quickness, and razor-sharp precision and twitch in his route running. Covey also caught the ball clearly and consistently, utilizing the suddenness and foot speed to generate separation on short to intermediate level throws. In my estimation, even looked faster compared to previous springs. If OTAs and minicamp practices are any indication of what's to come under the new offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, I'd expect Covey to command a long look at the position or of trade. So, Britton Covey has been fantastic. We talk about Campbell and Nia Smith, and I believe Nia Smith will still end up being the starter. Just putting that out there. I believe he will be the starter when this thing is all said and done. However, we got to keep an eye on Covey, because Covey is making a move, and he has been the hidden gem of the summer, of the spring, and of OTAs. And let's see if he can go out there and win a roster spot at the wide receiver position. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision, baby. We're all just living in it.
18th pick in the NFL draft.
Hey, make us lunch. We're hungry.
You know, it's being said that Jalen Hurts disappointed key figures within the Eagles organization. Well, let me tell you this. If they really are disappointed by what Jalen Hurts said, then they misunderstood what he was talking about. Jalen Hurts wasn't throwing Nick Sirianni under the bus or trying to be down on him. He was actually trying to protect him.
Oh, God. No. I want to be like the Eagles.